So joining us right
All
now,
right.
we're going to talk to Lakendra Tooks, and we are going to talk about a new exhibit coming to Minneapolis. It's called Titanic, an Immersive Voyage. It's opening in Minneapolis on August the 6th. Lakendra, thanks for joining me. I appreciate that. Let's talk a little bit about this exhibit. What's happening with this?
Well, this is an immersive experience, really celebrating Titanic, in a way beyond simply reading about it or watching it on a movie. This is truly immersive, and it gives visitors an opportunity to not only learn more about the Titanic, but also to kind of celebrate it, learn about especially Minnesota's connection to the Titanic.
So is this a traveling exhibit that's been in other cities and just kind of finally making its way to Minnesota, or talk about that?
Yes, it has been around. It's traveled around internationally and several cities around the United States as well. And it's really interesting, the connection to Minnesota, especially because there were so many immigrants aboard, especially Scandinavian immigrants aboard the Titanic. So it made sense to bring this immersive experience to Minnesota and to Minneapolis as well.
Okay. I know there's several elements of it, so let's just start with the immersive part, right? So, talk about when we go there, what are we going to see and be able to feel and touch, and just talk about the visual experience of it.
Yes. Well, first of all, the technology is so important in all of Exhibition Hub's immersive experiences. I don't know if you all are familiar with some of the other immersive experiences that Exhibition Hub has, like Dinos Alive, there's a Vincent van Gogh exhibition, there's so many exhibitions that they have, and technology plays a really important role with both the visual, the audio, the full experience. The technology allows visitors to transport in time and space. There's a walking VR experience that allows visitors to dive into the Titanic wreck 12,000 feet underwater, while projection maps recreate the grandeur of first-class rooms. The VR experience, in a word, is really, really cool. I love the VR experience at all of our exhibitions, and I think the Titanic VR experience just might be my favorite one. I love the way that we can bring along today's technology with the history, and the experience really, it just connects visitors to the real people, the real stories, making the history tangible and unforgettable.
Yeah, I think in the other part that I've seen, like in the news clippings and the news releases and stuff, you really want to make sure that people understand who these people are, why they were coming here, tell their personal stories. So it's also much more about them as human beings, right? And just kind of sharing their stories.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jim. I mean, I think a lot of people are surprised to discover that the Titanic was not just a story about millionaires. Most of these passengers aboard the Titanic were ordinary people. They were families, workers, immigrants who were traveling for the same reasons that people still travel today, to reunite with loved ones, pursue opportunities, or begin a new chapter in life. And these are universal stories. They remind us that behind every name on the passenger list was a person, a human being with dreams, family, and hopes for the future. And what I love, and I think the reason why the Titanic it still resonates with so many people today, is because these are stories that transcend generations. And they're especially meaningful in a community like Minnesota, where there are so many families that share similar immigration stories.
So, look, obviously a lot of us are connected to Titanic because of that wildly popular movie, right? Like that's what we know about the Titanic. How much is this
Yes.
similar to that, and how much is it going to be different than that? Obviously, this is going to be much more of a real world experience and true to life experience than maybe the movie was. Obviously, that was a movie. Talk about the differences and the similarities.
Right. Well, I can't promise that Leonardo DiCaprio will be there, but there are Titanic has been fascinating to people for years and years and years. The first Titanic movie actually happened all the way back in 1953, which I didn't even know that. I thought the 1997 movie, that's the only one that I had ever seen, but there's been books, movies, entertainment has really been essential in keeping the Titanic story alive for generations. From that 1953 film to there's been books to Robert Ballard's he actually discovered the rest in 1985. So, this is something, like I said, that has truly transcended generations. And what I love about this immersive experience is it's a step beyond the movie. It's a step beyond sitting there and watching it on a screen. You really get to it's like you're in the movie a little bit more, And so what I love that the story has been able to stay alive through all of these retellings and celebrating these cultural touch points. And within this immersive experience, visitors can explore recreated movie memorabilia and even step into a life-size Titanic deck to reenact the famous "I'm flying" scene, and they can connect to pop culture with real history. It allows guests to experience the romance, the drama, and imagination inspired by Titanic while engaging with the ship's authentic stories and artifacts.
Does your immersive exhibit include actual artifacts from the real Titanic?
Yes, Jim, there are over 300 actual artifacts from the real Titanic. I mean, there are some things that are replicas, but there are more than 300 curated artifacts, which really bring the human side of Titanic to life. And there are replica artifacts, including 3 small ships, there's a boarding deck, life jackets, first and third class dinnerware displays, sheet music that was played on board as the ship sank. There's a passenger memorial wall honoring those who sailed aboard the Titanic. Each artifact and interactive experience really connects visitors to real stories and real people, making this history just tangible and unforgettable. I mean, it truly is an immersive experience. That's something where you're going to see it. There's visual, there's audio, there's the music, there's things you can touch and feel. And it's great for the whole family also, Jim. I don't know if you saw this. There was recently a New York Times story about how a lot of young children are fascinated about the Titanic these days. So that's another thing that I love about the exhibition, that it's a family experience. Bring the whole family, from the kids all the way to grandpa.
For sure. So it opens on August the 6th. How long is this going to be here in Minnesota, in Minneapolis? How long do we have to see this?
We have at least a few months. It really just depends on how popular it is. Depending on the popularity, we might stick around a little bit longer, but definitely at least a few months.
And where exactly is this? Where is the setup going to be?
It is at 501 Royalston Avenue, right there in Minneapolis. And for any more information, feel free to hop on expo-titanic.com/Minneapolis, and tickets are always available on Fever. We recommend that people set an appointment to come and see it, because you want to definitely set aside at least a solid 90 minutes to experience the whole thing. And I've heard a lot of people say that when they go back a second time, they discover something they didn't even see the first time. So it's fun to see it at least once, but it's also fun to see it twice.
Yeah, or go see it and then bring your friends and family that didn't see it the first time with you, and you can see it again with somebody new and fresh and see it through their eyes as well. Sounds like a great experience.
Yeah. It really is. And I mean, I love the romance part of it. That's my favorite part of the movie. I think it's a great date night experience. That's really my favorite part of the movie is that love, that romance. And I think a lot of people, the world's a crazy place right now. A lot of us could be, the love and the romance is just a nice little reminder for all of us.
All right. We've been visiting with Lakendra Tooks. The new Titanic and Immersive Voyage exhibit opens on August the 6th in Minneapolis. We'll show people how to get tickets and everything online. We'll put the story up there. Lakendra, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. It sounds like a fascinating exhibit. Good luck with it.
Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you for having me.